Okay, now we're gonna do a few final adjustments in Illustrator, and then start talking about um, how to break this document down into um, its own four color plates and get proofs saved out, um, and basically prepare a folder for the printer. Remember, we're not actually going to the printer, but we're just pretending. Just pretending. You are, kind of sending it to me. I'm sort of your printer, I guess, but I'm not going to print anything. I'm just going to look and make sure you did everything right. That is my job. Okay, so we're in Illustrator, and what's different about Illustrator than like Photoshop, like we talked about in the last video, is that Illustrator doesn't have a document mode. You can't be in like RGB or CMYK. It's just Illustrator, and it takes all of those and allows you to make objects that are either color, RGB or CMYK. It allows you to place images that are RGB or CMYK. It's fairly versatile, but since we're preparing this for a press facility, we need to also guarantee that not only our images are in CMYK, but all the colors that we are using are in CMYK. And that includes, text and graphic objects. So if I select this this color bar on the left side here and go to my colors, this swatch right here tells me that I am in a mix of cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Here's my mix for that bar over there, that sort of nasty brown. I am in CMYK. I have the options here on this little pop-out menu. I don't know if you can see it in here. I'll have to move this over. I'll crowd the space a little bit, something like that. Okay, here we go. I am in CMYK. It's possible that I could be in RGB. And this is something you want to make sure you keep an eye on. Anytime you choose to insert a graphic object or text, okay, your drawing or whatever, if this is something that's going to be intended for print, you need to make sure that you are in a CMYK color space for that. So here's my other little orangish red bar, which is also in CMYK. And so this is basically what the printer, with a four-color printer is going to do. They're going to lay down some cyan, some magenta, some yellow, and some black in order to sort of get that color. All right, so I'll show you halftone breakdown. Halftone breakdown. Let me open up this deal here. All right. I'll open them in Photoshop. Dunk. Invalid JPEG marker. Really? Okay, fine. All right. So here's an example of what the printing process is like when dealing with a four-color print process. Here's a photograph of this clown and this girl, and they've gone in macro and shown you how the different ink will lay down dots, right? Different dots of ink. And then those dots, and basically the arrangement of them, their proximity to each other, laying over each other, all of that ends up, and their size, ends up creating what looks to us to be like a smooth color. Here's an example of it, super close up. Different image, but you can see all the different dots. And if you were standing far away from this, it would look like a smooth gradient. And here's just another one. For some reason, I don't know why This other example will not show up, but I will open these two. These should work. Okay. So here, this image of the girl, nice and smooth, looks great. You know, good color, good gradients, good detail. If it's broken into the different plates here, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, this is what that mixture would produce. So when you look at each plate alone, this is what the color arrangement would be. As soon as you go and lay it all together, you know, after passing through the press 4 times, you get a final product like that. So that's kind of what we're aiming for with this project, is to understand that process from the inside out, from the designer's side. So even black is important to look at. So I have black text, and what is critical when dealing with black is that you have no CMY in it. You want to make sure that it's just black, and it's very common for young designers to not pay attention to this, and what happens is it ends up when you have something like text, or really fine, something with fine detail, and it's supposed to be black, if there is any sort of cyan, magenta, or yellow in that mixture, then that means that you're going to be laying down 4 times the amount of ink necessary, and that creates sort of, you know, blobs in a way. You just want to have one clean passing of black. You can kind of imagine, you know, trying to paint a really fine T or something like that 4 times with different inks. It's going to get really sloppy and messy. Fortunately, the press facilities these days have really good watchdog programs for that. So the pre-press manager will open up a file and kind of go through and make sure everything looks okay, and they can run a few little like actions, you know, mini applications, whatever, on it, and have it tell them if there is some excess areas of color in the black areas. So what you need to do is you just need to select your text if it's black, or anything else is black, and go look at your color panel and make sure that CMY is all at 0 and that K is at 100, and that will guarantee that you don't end up running into that problem. So these are a few things that I will be looking for in your magazine layout. I'm going to select all of your stuff basically, and I'm gonna see if you've been paying attention to your CMYK values in Illustrator, as well as your images that you're using. All right, so you have a window that we can pull up, which is our separations preview. And separations preview is kind of a way for us to have a look first at what our color separations would be like. And so you can turn off the little eyeball for the different plates and see that you've got a black plate, a yellow plate, a magenta, and it's kind of cool. It shows you the densities and all that you'd be dealing with those colors, and then a cyan, and all of them together make the combination that looks the way that it's supposed to. Alright, so our goal is to produce a file that is the separate plates. And I will get into that in the next video.